Hey guys, Black Zero JPS here, and here we are looking at the figure eyes, standard figure eyes. I think it's amplified. I don't remember, but this is Wargreymon from Digimon. No, this is not based off the reboot of the Digimon Adventure or anything. This is just their own design taken because when I was building this, I was looking at the Digimon Adventure, and I was looking at clips. I was looking at the original, then I was looking at the reboot they did, and I was like, no, because even the reboot still kept them to the original. So this is their own design, and the reason I say that is because certain parts here and there kind of shows that. Also, he's sticker heavy out the ass. It's not noticeable in like areas like the feet because that looks normal enough, nor like the legs or anything. The waist, sort of like this piece here, kind of gives away this is not the original. The body, not so much, is still the same. Though again, some of these red pieces are almost terrified me, but it wasn't bad. Also, I do like how they did the head on him because it does capture his look, and he does look very intimidating because if camera would, I forget how to, oh, there it is. If I can get the camera to focus, there it is. That head design and the eyes, it captures really well. And watching the Digimon Adventure, I think it's 20. I want to say it's 2026, but I don't think it is. Not a try, not Adventure Try. I'm talking about the other one, the Digimon Adventure. But this look makes him like it captures everything. And this head design look is it's immaculate. It's impeccable. It's impressive. I watched Digimon growing up, and Wargreymon was my favorite. And this just looks super appealing. Now, before I get too deep into this, I did say there's a lot of stickers. So where are they? Well, the eyes is a sticker. That's obvious. And luckily how they're pushed in there and everything, it does look intimidating because it makes him look like he's not looking directly forward. He's kind of looking upwards. So if his head was tilted downwards a little bit like that, he would have that menacing look of like, okay, I'm pissed the fuck off. We're about to do this. Like that look in his head with those eyes. That looks very intimidating and impressive. I do like the fact that the pieces of his mane, the hair, they're all different sections. Like it's like 4 different segments still, but his brave shield does get in the way of that. And this is where the majority of his stickers went. The brave shield, and this is not some normal brave shield look because it's quite the spectacular thing. And every piece of white you see up here on both sides, it's a sticker. Yes. So the triangles, and you can kind of see it kind of here and there on a few. So all the triangles are sticker. Everything that's white, it's a sticker. So just keep that in mind. You will be doing a lot of sticker applying on this thing. And the nice thing about these is they open up, which has that impressive detailing on them. And that's where the majority of the stickers went. And then there's also, I didn't mention it, the black on his head, the black on these horns, like here, here, and here, and over here on the side. It's like 3 black stickers on each. And that's, so he has losses. And also the red here on his shoulders, that is a sticker. But everything else is ABS plastic. He also has polycaps, which honestly I wasn't expecting that, but it is to be expected. And the reason I say this is not like the original Wargreymon design or anything is because if you ever look at the original Wargreymon design and everything, not this one, you will notice one thing. And that is, there would have been red here. Like this black part here on his shoulders, it would have been red, and it would have been like connecting to his arms, which is the design they used on the original one. I believe it's also in Try. Try. I think they had it, and I also think in the Adventure 20, I think it's 2025 or 2024. They had it in there too. I would have to relook at the clip of it fighting like Reapermon, or the first time we see it, or against Millenniumon, Zeta Millenniumon. But yeah, it's supposed to be like red here, but I don't care. It's Bandai's design, so I don't care. One thing I will admit though, and I kind of hate this, and I just had to put some super glue on him, is the hips. This connector point is a ball joint here, but there's a polycap in the hip. That polycap was not really holding that ball joint well, and it kept making his leg pop off. So I ended up super gluing that in there. Well, not super gluing, more like cement glue, so it might hold better. Now, honestly, and everything you see here out the box, that's everything on him. There's no like needed for anything else. He does have one extra part, and the extra part goes for his Brave Shield, so that you could plug them, you can connect them together and push them together. Hold on, let me get that part real quick. Okay, I got the piece, which is a tiny little piece. It's just this little thing here, peg on one side with 2 holes on the other. And also, since I got this now, I'm going to show you what the box art looks like. This is some sick box art. And please forgive me while I try to get the camera to work with me. Something about this camera is that it's supposed to have the base lock in, which I don't know, it doesn't lock in. For those wondering, it's a Logitech camera. And even still, the cord is like, I want to turn this way. Like, please. But yeah, this is the box art, and it's phenomenal. Figure out standard amplify. He looks very intimidatingly menacing on that. And the first pose, him doing his Terra Force, and that's like the same pose he took from the anime too. Though I'm still questioning why the English dub made him say, Polly want a cracker? Well then eat up. I don't understand that at all for one bit, but who cares? I don't care. And you can see him with the Draymond Destroyers or Killers. I can't remember if they're called the Draymond Destroyers or the Draymond Killers. I know they're Draymonds, because they're supposed to work against any Draymond type Digimon, like Machine Dramon, Metal Sea Dramon. If you have the DRA in your name, it's supposed to be effective against you. Hence why he took out Metal Sea Dramon and Machine Dramon. Then you also see him, he can have both of them on one hand, which we never seen him do that. And there he is with the Brave Shield in one hand as well. And on the other side, we just have him standing there, which is still pretty awesome. Now this question is, will I get the Metal Garurumon figurized standard amplified? Maybe, but if I do get another one, the next, well, I am thinking about 2 more right now, which is Imperial Dramon and Emperor Greymon. Those are next on the list for me. But Metal Garurumon is up there. I might get Machine Dramon too, so who knows. And if they have a Black Wargreymon, which I don't think they do, I would get that, but I would just have to paint this one to do that. Which means all this red will become yellow, this will be black, His skin would be black. It had to paint the eyes yellow. So, in terms of articulation, I'm going to take off his Brave Shield because it kind of gets in the way. Also, these things do peg in on his back one way because they are half circle pegs. Wow, that one was painful to pull out. So they only go in on his back one way. You can see all that nice little blue detail on his shield, on his Brave Shield. So, and we can take off the Draymond Killers, Draymond Destroyers, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember the name. But yet, I'm going to say this right now. Any pose you wanted to do with Wargreymon that he did in the anime or in the games, he can't do. Terra Force, or if you like the Japanese dub, Gaia Force, you can do that. Brave Tornado, he can do that. Though he can't like look upwards just because how his head is. So, let's start off with his articulation. So, the head can go, it's on a double ball joint. So you got a ball joint here and a ball joint up here. So, at the neck, for the whole neck you have an up and down. The head can go down that far, but it cannot go up too high. It could go up higher, but because of its mane is in the way, it kind of prevents him from doing that. So, you have to kind of like, if you want him to look menacingly, he can do it with his head down and everything. But if you kind of look here from the side or the back, there's a nice big gap there. Which is sad because you can't do much about that gap. And if you really want him to try to look upwards with anything, you're going to have to use his body. And speaking of body, he has a double ball joint because one thing about building these is you have a head, the neck, then you have an upper body, the lower body. That's how they build these in segments. And I've seen this this is the 4th time now. No, 5th time because this is the 5th figure I amplified. I have the Blacklisted Soldier, I have Alphamon, Gallantmon, and Omnimon, Antibody X, and now Wargreymon, and they all built the same. Head with the neck, an upper body, and then the lower body. And then you just connect them all together. Unlike, Master Grades, like the Gundams where I just built the whole body together, then with the neck, and then you built the head. Yeah, this is a bit different, but still, it allows you to see what kind of articulation you get. So this upper body, you get a little bit of a little crunch there. Not much. It's nothing is really hindering it, but it's just the design. And there's a nice little design detail in his back there. Sadly, it gets covered up. The lower body, in his lower body, the lower one you have, a little bit more side to side, front to back, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. It's all ball joints there. The arms, they can rotate 360. They can go out that far, rotate below the shoulders. Shoulder armor is connected to the shoulders. He has double jointed elbows, but you don't want to get that much out of it. You can roll. He swivels here at the wrist and swivels on hand. Hand is also ball jointed. No extra hands either. Oh, right. One more thing. His finger here, his thumb, is a sticker. So the nail. It would have been nice to have an open hand, but I don't think this came out before. I think this came out before the Digimon Adventure, 2025, I think. 2024, 2025. I think this came out before that, but just whatever. Because the only reason I would like an open hand is because if you look at the clip of Wargreymon versus Reapermon, he does Terra Force with one hand, and he literally, like, he's not even holding his Draymond killer. He's just like, it's just resting in his arm, and he just shoots Gaia Force from his hand into Rubermon's chest and be like, I'm done with you. Waist, he can rotate 360 because there's hardly anything blocking. Front skirt, this front piece does not move, it's held in place. Side pieces can move, but I would not force it because they're holding on. It's not friction, but it's two pieces. The back piece here, what about the bigger piece is this whole piece that's connected on this red part from the bottom, and it's also this big side skirt piece. The top part is just the piece that's up here at the top holding it together. So it can move, but I will not press too hard and seeing like how far I can move it, but you can get it to go parallel. There's no back skirts at all, but oh right, there is I forgot, there's a sticker right here on his butt. Yes, there's a sticker there on his butt, and if you notice there's a hole there. That hole is for an action-based connector. Also, now that I think about this, take that piece off his back, and we got two more stickers here. Yeah, you covered up two stickers partially with a back piece. But hey, that's what the manual says. I mean, you can still see them, but this piece is just covered. Mainly, they're covering up. So, legs, they can go back pretty far. They can go forward pretty far if he wants to kick somebody. And they can go out to the side if he still wants to do a side kick. Which I don't think he ever did one, and you know, because, geez, he can actually do one and look like he's a fighter. And sadly though, the issue is I'm starting to see the issues with this thing, which I'm going to get to in a second. His knees are not, they are double jointed, so he had to bend. He has a hip swivel, so you can swivel the hips. Now, this is also another problem. The feet are double ball, now, the ankles are double ball jointed. You have a ball joint going up into the leg, and you got one into the foot that's at an angle, so foot can swivel. It can swivel side to side, and it can go up and down somewhat. This side skirt armor, this ankle armor, foot guard, whatever, it doesn't hold up there really well. It's pegged in on both sides and held together by this red piece. But honestly, getting it on is quite the chore. But I haven't noticed it popped off once, mainly on this foot. But outside of that, it hasn't really popped off again. And I don't know what it is, but I'm going to say this now. There's looseness in this guy, and I'm going to probably have to tighten up all the joints. And I'm going to say this now for you guys, because he's polycaps. I would suggest tighten up the hip joints here, because there's polycaps there. And also in the feet, because there's polycaps. And also for the foot, for here, because there's polycap here and one in the foot. So I do recommend tightening up those joints. They're the only ones that really need it. But otherwise, he's pretty sturdy. He holds up really well. I mean, he's been on my shelf over a week before I got to doing this. So yeah, I had this right around the time. I got him right around the time I got my Bill Strike full package. I built him first, but Bill Strike just got done sooner. Now let's go ahead and attach his stuff. So I'm going to show off the first thing with this extra piece. And I'm looking at this. It doesn't seem to have no issue about being, hey, this is whatever. The polycap has to go in this way, but But once you plug him in, the shield is actually pretty good. And I just realized because the way I got him set up, I was going to have him turn his arm upwards. But I forgot the thing is not swiveled or rotated to doing that. Which I think... And it doesn't matter because these balls... the wrist is... it's the same no matter what. There we go. Because it shouldn't matter which hole it goes in. But I can't even get him to hold this. Come on. Okay, well there it goes. He has a brave shield. And like I said, the issue is not he can't stand, it's just those joints. And if you wanted to, you could actually... Wow. That's actually, you know, that's actually quite impressive for, you know, as a shield or something, you know. Just have him standing there like that with the shield. That would be the craziest brave shield I ever seen. But yeah. Now, if I wanted to do the other arm with the two, I should be able to do this like so. And yeah, he has... Wow. He's like a sword. He's like a knight. You got a claw and shield mode. But honestly, I think that's impressive. And there's still some room for articulation so he can bend. Also, I will admit, I super glued or cement glued these black parts onto these silver parts. Mainly because they was not stand. And I just like, okay, I'm just going to glue you in there because this way I know you'll hold in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it what you get with him. Now, let me go ahead and put this guy back to his normal. Like I said, if you do, first things first, super glue those hips and maybe the feet. Because you're going to need to make sure those joints are tight. Also, remember when I mentioned the Wargreymon, how you can take stuff from others and put it on him? Like Gallantmon's shield and lance can be used on him. Well, you could take the Brave shield with this part and plug it into his back. So let me go ahead and put these back on him. Also, now think about it. Without that shit on his back, his head kind of can go back a little bit further. But due to how high the shield sits up, and I probably put this in wrong because I'm not finding that sweet spot. There. But like, there's one. But due to how high that shield sits on his back, if you look at it from there, that shield sits up high. Look where it's pegged in at, and look how high it sits up. Which I think on the original, I don't think even they didn't sit up that high. Sorry, I had to pull away because I had to see exactly where the flat side was on that peg. Luckily, his shield doesn't have issues plugging in. I mean, yeah, shields. His claws have no issues plugging into any point, any of these holes. Wait a minute. They do. So it has to be a Pacific one. Okay, I just realized. I just learned something today that the claws do have to fit in on a certain peg. So yeah. Also, I forgot there was one more thing with him and his legs. There is he does have the little hinge mechanism in his legs, so you can make him look taller. You know, like the little hip slider mechanism where you can have your, you know, one leg is up and one leg is down. So you can do that if you need extra height in him. Now, as you saw, like in the box art, the poses are, and I forgot there is one more joint he has. His shoulder, his arms can come outwards from the body. So, if you wanted him to do Terra Force on the ground, like he's about to shoot somebody with like a Hadoken, you can do so. So yeah, he has all that is going for him, pretty much, and then some. Like I said, the only issue I have with him is the hips. And if, like I said, if you want to make him do Terra Force, like he's gonna shoot it from the sky. See, I told you that hip. And as you can see, right in there, that's a polycap. You can make him go Gaia Force. So yeah, Wargreymon can be intimidating to do what he wants, or if he wants to be like, I'm gonna pop you right in your chest like he did Reapermon. He can just go choom, and still, yeah, that hip joint is not stand. Gonna have to glue it afterwards. He can still do the block. So yeah, this is a awesome figure. It's an awesome model. I don't know what to call it figure. It is figurized. Now what I'm gonna do afterwards is glue that hip and everything, and maybe the feet. But yeah, this is it's an awesome kit. I'm glad I got this. If you can find it at a good price, go for it. Get it. It is worth it because it's Wargreymon. He is like literally the staple of Digimon. He's like, you need somebody who's badass, call Wargreymon. You want somebody who looks badass, even intimidating, call Wargreymon. Hell, if you see my playthrough Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, yeah, Wargreymon was clutch, especially in DLC missions with the 7 Deadly Sins. You saw Wargreymon frontlining because boosting to Brave Tornado, he is clutch and he does massive damage. So yeah, this is Figurized Wargreymon. It'll probably be a while before I do another one. But when it happens, it'll happen. You'll see it up there. So till then, take care, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.